Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff should we call the Capitol Police?
What?
I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Oh, no, we wonder why.
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
There's not a question of how they had been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Oh!
Responsibility.
Put that heifer in handcuffs. Jail, prison, slam a yard, make her breathe, and there's more charges. We can't just stop there. There has to be more charges. I smelled her breath. Make her breathe in this walkie-talkie. Breathe in this walkie-talkie right now, ma'am. Right now, breathe in this walkie-talkie. Blow in this walkie-talkie. Blow. Blow right now. Slam a yard. Slam the door. Pitch black on this heifer right here. I tell you, I'm advocating for it. I've been advocating for it for a long time. Miss Pelosi. Miss Nancy Pelosi. You and your husband in there. We know what y'all doing. Then y'all go into the little secret room. All of a sudden, millions and millions and millions. Put this heifer in jail, prison, and they're insider trading. I tell you, a disgrace. You got doggone right, and I'm not gonna stop advocating for it. You got doggone right. But as y'all know, she has broke the internet in the worst way possible. Even getting called out by the former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Song. Called her out on X, yeah. You know, and this is good. I couldn't wait to get into today's show, today's video. We talked about this last night on the show just a little bit with everything that's going on down there in D.C. And they are not effing around. The F around and find out movement is happening right now, especially in D.C. This administration is not effing around. A night and day difference in the previous administration. And they done took that auto pen, that machine, they done threw it in the storage unit in the closet and slammed the door. This is good. We actually know who's running the country. You know? And this lady here and many others ought to be held accountable. Y'all couldn't beat y'all political opponent fair and square. And you Democrats have made it worse and worse and worse. And left a complete mess. And y'all done ran everybody out the door. Pretty soon there won't be nobody left. People are waking up and say to hell with you Democrats. And there's either a new Trump supporter or conservative or independent born every single day. They say the party has left me. I wonder why. And all this fear-mongering, gaslighting, all the lies, what's done in the dark is coming to the light. What's been done in the dark is coming to the light. And they on here calling your butt out, and I love it. And it says it's now been confirmed. Nancy Pelosi blocked the National Guard on January 6th. Everybody knows it, you know. And this is when the former Capitol Police Chief called her out. He says, ma'am, it is long past time to be honest with the American people. On January 3rd, I requested National Guard assistance, but your sergeant at arms denied it under federal law. I was prohibited from calling them in without specific approval. That same day, Carol Corbin at the Pentagon offered National Guard support, but I was forced to decline because I lacked the legal authority. On January 6th, while the Capitol was under attack, and despite my repeated calls, your sergeant at arms again denied my urgent request for over 70 organizing minutes, running it up the chain. for your approval. Running it up the chain for your approval. When I needed assistance, I was denied. When I needed assistance, I was denied. I don't mean to sound like a pastor or minister to you guys, but I'm just trying to point it out, you know. But then he says, yet when it suited you, you ordered 15 tops with concertina wire and surrounded the Capitol with thousands of armed National Guard troops. Yeah, buddy. We love this, man. We love when they come out and just call your butt out. And we're gonna continue to advocate for your butt to be fully investigated. And I think we ought to skip the investigation. I think we got everything we need. I really do. I think we ought to just pull out handcuffs. I'm just saying. They say, Rick, sir, it will never happen. She will never. Her and many others that really need to be held accountable, they won't be held accountable, sir. So Rick, stop wishing for it and hoping it happens. It just won't happen. We won't ever see it happen, Rick, sir. I tell you, man. But this has breaking. Nancy Pelosi exposed for lying about the deployment of National Guard troops on January 6th. Former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Son called her out on X. He requested the National Guard, but her sergeant at arms denied them. She must have forgotten about the video. And that's what we started off today's show with, you know. And it says, here it is. The Chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Son, who oversaw January 6th.
And I briefed all of the leadership of the plans to get them back into chambers. That would have been call number 3 with Speaker Pelosi.
So you didn't have one call, you didn't have 2 calls, you had 3 calls. So Speaker Pelosi's comments that she didn't speak to you are inaccurate.
That is correct, sir.
Today we're here to discuss the security failures that occurred on January 6, 2021, and how we can prevent these failures from occurring again. I want to dive into the questions, Chief Son. In your transcribed interview, you mentioned that you met with the House Sergeant at Arms regarding the National Guard prior to January 6th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And who was the House Sergeant at Arms leading up to and on January 6th?
That would be Paul Irving.
And the House Sergeant at Arms is appointed by who?
It was appointed at that time by Speaker Pelosi.
And in your transcribed interview, you mentioned that when you first brought up the National Guard to the House Sergeant at Arms in the days leading up to January 6th, that Mr. Irving said he, quote, didn't like the optics, end quote. Is that correct?
That is correct. He referenced being concerned for optics.
And on January 6th, when you went to Mr. Irving to get his approval to call in the Guard, Mr. Irving said he would, quote, run it up the chain. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That was a telephone call. I didn't see him in person when I first made that request.
The House Sergeant at Arms is considered probably the most senior security official on the House side. When Mr. Irving says he has to, quote, run it up the chain, end quote, what did that mean?
I took that to mean his leadership chain.
And who would be his leadership chain? He's functionally the most senior security official on the House side, correct?
That's his title. That's part of the title, the senior law enforcement official for the House of Representatives. But he would have been referring to the leadership team that goes up to Speaker Pelosi.
So the political leadership team, meaning elected officials, not another security official, is that your
that is correct, sir. He's the top security official for the House.
So running up the chain would most likely, in your opinion, is through the Speaker's office and possibly to Speaker Pelosi?
That would be where it ends, yes.
Okay, so let's park that there, and then let's jump to a second set here. In a press conference on January 7th, Speaker Pelosi called for your resignation on national television. Speaker Pelosi also stated that she had not talked to you since the initial breach of the Capitol. But according to your transcribed interview, you were on the phone with Speaker Pelosi a few times. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, that is correct. I spoke to Speaker Pelosi 3 times that evening, and she went on national TV and said I'd never spoken to her, but I spoke to her 3 times. The three times were the first time when I went over to brief Vice President Pence at the secure location. I'd called House Sergeant at Arms Irving, told him I was going over to brief the Vice President. I was also going over to do a personal assessment of the Capitol. At that point, things were getting under control. Went over there, briefed him on when we can get them back into chambers with Mr. Irving being fully aware. He said he wanted to get Speaker Pelosi on the phone. He made a phone call from his cell phone at approximately 5:34. where I first briefed Speaker Pelosi. The second call was when I left that location. As I was walking away, I met up with Mr. Stenger, and we started walking over to the Senate to go brief the Senate when Jennifer Hemingway, I believe it was Jennifer Hemingway, handed me the cell phone, and it was Emily Barrett's cell phone calling her, and it was Speaker Pelosi on the other line. This is my second call with Speaker Pelosi, questioning the information I'd given to Vice President Pence about when we can get back into chambers. I assured her that information was correct. I could get them back into chambers by 7 p.m., and the call ended. That was call number 2. Call number 3 was 6:25 p.m. I was over at the Senate from the secure location, from where the Senate had been sequestered, and on a cell phone using Robert Karam's cell phone, they dialed leadership, who was over off-site at a secure location, and I briefed all of leadership of the plans to get them back into chambers. That would have been call number 3 with Speaker Pelosi.
So you didn't have one call, you didn't have 2 calls, you had 3 calls. So Speaker Pelosi's comments that she didn't speak to you are inaccurate.
That is correct, sir.
Let me shift gears and go back as it relates to the optics of bringing people up to Capitol Hill and running things up the chain of command, ultimately to the Speaker's office. Do you think Speaker Pelosi's office or Speaker Pelosi herself politicized Capitol security?
I have no idea on that, sir.
Okay. Any other clarifications you'd like to make as it relates to Speaker Pelosi's comments that you didn't speak to her?
I just, wish she had considered that, wish she had considered some of the stuff that I've faced and the efforts I went through to bring in the outside resources on that day before she called for my resignation.
Yeah, just can't make it up. That heifer ought to be put in jail, prison, slammer yard. But it says, holy crap, Nancy Pelosi just got ratioed by the former Capitol Police Chief after Pelosi lied and said Trump delayed National Guard deployment on January 6th. And again, like I tell you, this post on the internet has blown up because, as you know, Pelosi said literally almost 2 days ago. Well, this was like almost 36, almost 2 days. But as y'all know, y'all probably seen it already, but she said Donald Trump delayed deploying the National Guard on January 6th when our capital was under violent attack and lives were at stake. Now he's activating the DC Guard to distract from his incompetent mishandling of tariffs, healthcare, education, and immigration, just to name a few blunders. As many times as this woman has been called out and fact checked, and I don't even know why she would do this to herself. Why she would even post or tweet anything. That's just my opinion, but I don't know why she would even tweet or post anything after having that a train wreck on CNN with Jake Tapper. And she up there once and then came out talking about the trans children just a couple days ago. Look completely hammered. I'm for real. Breathe, blow in this walkie-talkie, ma'am. I tell you, every time she comes out, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Look, you just can't make this up. Look.
Gender affirming care.
Well, that is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, how can I say, are hoping that we can have gender affirming care for our trans kids, and that
for our trans kids. Oh, put this heifer in prison, man. She ought to be put in handcuffs. I'm serious, man. You just can't make this up. But just wanted to come on here and have a little fun with y'all, man. Y'all know I got to come here and have a little fun, talk my little trash, and I really am advocating for handcuffs. I really am. Accountability, justice. This ain't no revenge, nothing. This is accountability and justice. No revenge whatsoever. I know some people, we say revenge. We say revenge in our titles and thumbnails and all kind of crap, but no revenge at all. It's accountability and justice. And I stopped using that revenge word. I stopped using it. And I see y'all in the comments been on my butt. Rick, stop using revenge. Stop using revenge. It's not revenge. It's accountability and justice. And that's what the people want, man. That's what the American people deserve. deserve. The American people deserve that. You know, these people tried everything they could, you know, and still lost. Weaponized, I mean, the witch hunts, the shams, couldn't beat your political opponent fair and square. Y'all tried everything in the book. And guess who's your 47th president? I tell you, the hell with you Democrats.